Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. This show is all about inspiring, empowering, and educating you through life's transitions. All right, so we know the divorce rates. About half of the marriages end in divorce, and the odds and statistics for second marriages are even higher than that. So, since we don't go into the institution thinking that, there are often a lot of emotions, hurt feelings, and people can get really hurt and really, quote unquote, screwed over if they're not properly prepared for it. So I wanted to bring in an expert today, India Kern, and she's a divorce recovery mentor and a certified divorce coach, on talking about ways to empower you during what can be a very, very emotional time, because actually divorce is a business. It is a business. So she's going to enlighten us today and help you if you are going through a divorce, you're thinking about a divorce, you know anyone who's going through divorce. We're going to talk about that, plus her incredible background in marketing and everything that she's doing and how she serves the world. So our title for today's show is 3 Things to Know If You're Getting Divorced. And boy, oh boy, I wish I knew these things when I got divorced. So, our show is always about helping you live to your highest, greatest, fullest potential. And then the more information that you have, the more knowledge you have, the better you can move in inspired action in your life. So that's what we're going to cover today. But before we do that, let's do our intention statement. Our intention statement today is, I have today to be better instead of bitter. I have today to be better instead of bitter. And that is something that India helps people do too, because we know what it feels like. That bitterness hurts you. You can be better than that. So each week on this show, my team makes the most beautiful graphics of our intention statement. And there it is on the screen right now. And where you can find that is if you hop on over to my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official, you go to my profile and you'll see a little button there that says intention statements. This is already up there. So go there, find it, and then take a screenshot of it and use it as your wallpaper for this entire week, so that every time you look at your phone, you have that gentle reminder that you can be better instead of bitter. So go there and scroll at all the other ones there. We do them every single week on this show. If this is your first time here at I Have Today, I want to say welcome to the show. We really appreciate you. And if you've been here before, I want to say welcome back. Quick little updates of what's happening at I Have Today. So in addition to having this TV show, we now have a television network. Yay! We are so excited. I Have Today TV is the first and only women's personal development and transformation television network for women over 40. And we now have 4 shows on the network on E360 TV. So if you go to e360tv.com, scroll down, you'll see I Have Today TV. That's our channel. And we have another 5 or 6 shows launching in the next few weeks. And every one of these women are superstars. They are experts in what they do. And they're all showing up to serve you with their experience, their skills, their knowledge to help you live intentionally the I Have Today way. So check it out while you're over there. Another big news is, because of the TV network, we're always looking for new hosts to come on the network. I also launched a podcast called Be a TV Star Host. Be a TV star host. Oh, wait a second. Let me see if I can do my fancy graphic here. Oh, yeah. There it is. Be a TV star host. So that is now ranked in the top 5% of podcasts in the world. It's really taken off like a rocket. I am so grateful and humble and thankful for that people are really getting a lot of value. So if you've ever thought about having your own show, and you want to learn a little bit more about it, I do a lot of strategy conversations. I talk about personal branding. I talk about the television industry. I cover it all there. And I keep the episodes super short. They're about 20 minutes or less, and they are packed with information. So you can check that on all the podcast streaming platforms. So, all right, well, let's get ready to bring India into the studio. But before we do that, let's hear a word from our sponsor, The Spifter. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by The Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Well, happy today, India. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me, Diane.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I can't wait to get into this conversation. So India and I have met years ago, but we recently got to see each other at an event. And I said, I really want to have you on my show. I know that my guests will my audience will absolutely love you. So I'd love to have you as a guest. So thank you for making it work. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, before we get into the story, let me share a little bit about you to the audience. So, as I said, India is a divorce recovery mentor, and as a certified divorce coach, she focuses on helping you make rational decisions versus emotional mistakes. So, that is something that is common with people. So, she helps individuals focus on those rational decisions versus the emotional ones. And she gets them to be emotionally prepared for the business of divorce. I can't wait to talk about this. Allowing the legal and financial teams to concentrate on what they do best. This approach ensures clients are well prepared and not overwhelmed by the divorce process. India helps her clients heal so they can get better instead of bitter. So, all right, India. So tell us a little bit about you. Give us a little bit of the background. How did you become an expert in this, and why did you choose this path?
Yeah. So, if someone had told me in high school that I was going to be a certified divorce coach, that probably wouldn't have, wanted me to get married. I wouldn't have wanted to get married as a result of that. But so it was through experience. So basically what happened is I got married to someone I've known since fifth grade. I'm from Georgia. It was a small town. And we grew a very nice business together. And so then we launched ourselves out into California. And after we were in California for a while, I was blindsided basically by divorce, and I did not know what to do. I lost my identity. I was devastated. I often compare it to, I was like an open wound that would not stop bleeding. And the reason I was that way is because I had really osmosed into my husband. His life was more important than mine. And so when it happened, I didn't know what I was going to do, how I was going to survive. I was such in a state of stress that I really couldn't be in the present moment. And I had 2 kids to raise, so it was not good. And what I did realize in that moment is that I got to heal. I got to get better. I can't stay like this. I've seen far too many women and men that are jaded. I do not want to be that person. So my intention was, I'm going to heal, even though I don't really know how I'm going to do that. So what I ended up going to therapy, and therapy is great. However, it could not help me through that life transition. My therapist had never been through divorce, didn't really know much about it. So I was fumbling my way through the life transition, and I made a lot of mistakes, emotional mistakes, but financial mistakes that had repercussions. So after I got through that transition, in the transition, I was writing down everything. I was taking all the muck and mire in my head and putting it on pages, and it helped clear my brain. So all those journals became a book. And what I realized, it was like the aha moment, is that I'm not the only one that is having a hard time through divorce. There's other people out there that are stumbling and fumbling and making all these mistakes. They need a guidebook. And so that's what all these journals became. I put them together and chapters, because as you know, when we're in a survival state, we can't really digest very much. So I made very short chapters. I made it a guidebook, and it's what I did to heal. So that's how I got. So once I did the book, then I fell into life coaching, but everyone that came to me was usually a woman who was devastated or blindsided by divorce. And I thought to myself, why am I doing this broad spectrum. I'm going to niche it down to divorce coaching. But I thought I was the only one that ever thought of that. I don't know why. So I was like, I'm a divorce coach. So I started practicing as a divorce coach and then quickly realized that, oh, I can get certified. So then I became certified as a divorce coach, and it just refined my coaching skills. So that is the story in a nutshell, pretty much.
Yes. So you've been doing this how long?
Since 2017.
2017. Okay. So what is the, cause I'm divorced too. And I got blindsided myself in my experience. I wasn't blindsided because he asked for a divorce. I was blindsided because he was having an affair, and I discovered it. And so anyway,
Yeah.
I write about it in my book too. And I want to touch on a couple of points that are so important, because as you're saying this, it's coming back to me and how healing this was. And I love these synchronicities and the synergy between our stories. That same thing with me. Therapy wasn't it. Therapy was keeping me stuck in it. And that's how I felt about it. I was just kind of rehashing everything. And
ruminating, right?
Totally. And it was making it worse. It was making it worse. And again, I'm not saying anything negative about therapy. It just wasn't working for me. So I too was determined and empowered, and it led me to what I'm doing. So I love that you turned this experience into something and a way to serve other people. It's so beautiful. It really is beautiful.
Thank you.
And I love that you also took to journaling. Me too. I took to meditation practice, journaling, and really self-discovery and my awakening, and so many good things came from that. And that you put the journaling and the stories and your discoveries into a guidebook for people, because the truth is that's the best way to learn anyway. And people get inspired by that. And I'm sure you've probably heard, over and over again, how often women have seen themselves in what you write. Oh, like she's talking to me. I know she's talking to me. So I love that. What of the coaching that you're doing, what is the revelation that women come to? Because it sounds like you're mostly coaching women, which I get. I mostly coach women too. What is the revelation, I want to hear in your words, that these women eventually come to during this process? What do you think the revelation is?
Yeah, that's a good question. The revelation is that we're more powerful than we know. And so once we own that and we start taking our power back and start writing our future, our present, then we become like just incredible, amazing people. And that's what I did. I was giving my power away and didn't realize it in my narrative. So once I took back my power and realized, oh my gosh, I can improve the situation without him lifting a finger. Yes. So it was self-agency is what it is. And I was no longer a victim. I was like, I can pretty much get through anything now. I really do believe that there's not much I can, I'm sure there are life transitions that I definitely don't want to go through, but that experience taught me how strong I am and how strong women are in general. Yes. I mean, you're stronger than you know.
Yes, it's so true. And then once you're aware of your power and how strong you are, it's like you said, I'm sure you're invincible. You are, there's, and I believe you when you say that there's nothing you can't handle. There, of course, there's life situations that you don't want to experience, but you understand your power. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways that I'm picking up on already. So, you're also a very brilliant, talented marketer as well. So talk about that side of your life and your business.
Yeah, so it's so funny how past skill sets come into play. So, in my previous life, it feels like when I was in Georgia, I actually worked in television. and I did video editing, and I was behind the camera, meaning I was manipulating the graphics and doing all that for the newscasters. So I learned how to edit. I learned a lot about marketing. And not only that, I was married to a very successful marketer, internet marketer. So we were in it together. And it's interesting. This is the 90s when the internet's just coming out. And I remember he turned to me and he said, I think this internet's going to be something. And I was like, I think you're right. And it was like the wild, wild west. And so that is my background. So it's like a acquired skill set that I had that really comes into play, especially if you're an author, because you're doing a lot of your own promotion, or if you any kind of coach, you have to get out there and speak and get on social and start telling the world what you do. So it comes in handy. So that's how life works, right? You have like acquired skills, you have gifts that there's like a Venn diagram that comes together, and that just happened to help me so much. I'm also an artist, so the creativity with the acquired skill really has helped me in my business as well as a coach. And I also coach other coaches in marketing. So it all has come together, like I said, like a Venn diagram. It's amazing how life works like that.
It is amazing. What sort of artist? What kind of artist are you?
So I was trained in fine art. So I'm a sculptor, but right now I mostly paint because I have time to carve stone. And I did do that in Italy many, many years ago. So I'm a trained sculptor, but like I said, I just don't have time. I mean, now my art comes out through my videos, through my content creation, through my crafting words. It's not so much actually getting pen to paper or paintbrush as much, because I just don't have the time. It comes out in different modes now.
Mm-hmm. And I think we go through cycles in life. There's, this is a time in your life when you're building a business, and a lot is happening, and so many people actually need what you have. And of course, your coaching is so important too. So let's get back to that, because I want to talk about what are some of the strategies that you're helping people to, manage the divorce and understand that divorce is a business, and how are you helping them be better versus bitter? What are some of the strategies that you're helping them with?
Right. So I think the biggest takeaway or the biggest point would be the pivot has to be away from the other person and toward yourself. And how can I improve this situation without them changing? Because, change is all about control. We want the other person to change so desperately, and we can't. We just have to give that one up. And so the focus has to be internal. So that would be the first thing, is you really have to start understanding who you are, because divorce is a self-identity wrecking ball. So, you really do have to know who you are. So that means investing in that. So for me, I always compare it to 3 cups. Look at your physical health. That doesn't just mean exercise. That means, are you overindulging? Are you not eating enough? How are you taking care of yourself? And ask the question, what's one thing I can do today to improve my physical health? Or, that could even mean betting the farm on someone else, thinking someone is going to rescue you. Is the last thing you need to do when you're in a life transition, because you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So at that moment, you're usually not on your A game. So the second thing is the emotional bucket, the emotional well-being. How am I going to improve there? Well, you could go to a coach, you could go to a therapist. Many of my clients do both. The thing I love to say about what I do is I'm not supposed to be in your life forever. Whereas therapy, you can do forever. And it's great at understanding why you married the person you did. Whereas I work from this point forward. You're at point A, you want to get to point B. I'm going to help you get there. So, and then lastly, the spiritual component, meditation. If you are of faith, dive in deep, be still. Oftentimes we are frenetic, and we are really we're getting ourselves so busy that we can't process and digest and heal, because busyness is just simply distraction. And so if you can counterbalance those three buckets, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual, you're going to do so much better. So that's one start is investment in yourself. And then there's others too. I mean, there's loneliness is not
Yeah.
necessarily loneliness. It's solitude, and solitude is what you need to be still. So
Mm.
that's a big one. And so many people, men and women I coach, their fear of loneliness almost prevents them from getting out of a bad situation. Whereas if they reword it, if you really ask yourself, am I lonely? Well, do you have family? Do you have kids? Do you have friends? You're not really lonely. You may be in solitude, but solitude is the one thing I resisted that I needed the most of. And so now I crave it. I love it. I got so much of it, even when I didn't want it, that now, like when the house is empty, I just love it. So you get to a point where you can really embrace it and love it. And that's where I do a lot of my spiritual work, where I'm sitting still and I'm praying and I'm journaling and I'm really getting in touch with source and my intuition. So those are some things that, you could do now if you're going through any kind of life transition. That doesn't just mean divorce.
Yes. Wow. So good. Oh my God. You said so many great things there that I want to touch on. Okay. Well, those are the three things, we titled this show, the three things you need to know. You really need to look at your physical health, your emotional well-being, and your spirituality. And it is internal. And I know I stayed in my marriage way too long, struggled in that marriage for so many years, 20 years. And in and out of therapy, multiple times, actually. In fact, went to see a therapist first, couples therapist, few years into the marriage, then went to see, stopped, went back to him again. And then years later, I don't know how, oh no, it was him. The second time I reached out to him, he said to me, Diane, you guys are still married? Like, that was such a sign. Like, we're still married. Anyway, but a lot of it was for me, the fear of it, the fear of the unknown, the fear of being branded divorced. My parents ended up getting divorced, even though they loved each other, they just couldn't live together. And they in and out of their marriage and relationship. And then both my sisters ended up getting divorced, and then they remarried. And at the time back then, I just did not want to be another quote unquote statistic. But just like you said, I was lonelier in that marriage than I was once I got out of it. And I love the solitude. I love my company. I love nurturing myself so much and feel very, very, very whole. So that is amazing.
There's a great quote. There's a great quote by Wayne Dyer. Do you know it? You cannot be lonely if you love the person you're with. You can never be lonely if you love the person you're with.
Oh, I love Wayne Dyer. My favorite quote of all time is, have a mind that's open to everything and attached to nothing. That's my favorite quote. I got it from him, who I think he got it from Lao Tzu. But okay, say that again. I want to write it down. You can never be
lonely if you love the person you're with.
I love that. Love the person you're
And it's so true. And once you get there, it's like the best feeling. Like, like I said, when the house is empty, I can paint, I can draw, I can read, I can sit in silence. It's the best. But a lot of people run from it.
Well, I think, my children, I have twins. They're going to be 27 next month. My niece just turned 29. My other nieces, nephews are, in their 30s, and they're all getting married right now. And so I just, I spoke to my niece the other day, and how do you feel about that number? And a little apprehension came up. She's not currently in a relationship. And of course, all the pressure around, all the friends doing all the things, either in relationships or getting engaged or getting married. And that clock is ticking or perceived. And I just said, oh my gosh, honey, you don't even know how much time you have. And that person is not going to make you whole. That person that you want, when it comes from a sense of like the clock's ticking and I got to do this, that's not the desire you want to go into a relationship with, because there's then expectations of how that person is supposed to behave. And as soon as they stop meeting those expectations, which you and I know happens immediately, no two people are alike. If you're not whole, you cannot, give and receive wholly in that relationship. So I wish more people knew that. So
it's like plugging holes in a dam, the other person's supposed to, and then it breaks at some point, if you're looking at the other person to make you complete.
Yes. So what do you think with the clients that you've worked with and have coached them, how many of them go on to maybe get married again? Or, I mean, I'm not holding you to a number, but I'm just curious what happens after they go through this and they get whole. Are they like, hey, I'm never getting married again? Or they're like, oh no, now I know really who I am and what I want. What do you see? What do you experience?
I just had this conversation yesterday with someone I was coaching, and I said, because they were thinking about doing the nesting thing. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a bird's nest. They keep the home. A person, like a father, flies in, stays with the kids, and then goes and leaves. And then the mom flies in with her time, her custody arrangement. She flies in. So it's like a nest. It's called nesting. And I said, well, from my experience and what I typically see is this is a temporary arrangement. And because usually you start dating other people and then there's just gets sticky. Yes. And I said, so what's your plan? Like, would you like to date and remarry? And she's like, I definitely want to date. But I am not getting remarried. And so she was very adamant, and she goes, and neither is my husband or soon to be ex. And I was like, okay. So she was, I hear that a lot. I don't see them so much like years post divorce. But I think a lot of who I work with, they eventually want to have a loving partner, whether they marry or not. And they do, that definitely happens, especially for those that spend some time healing. Because like I said, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So if you're still grieving, don't be surprised if that's what you are met with. And it makes for a hard relationship. So, I'm not saying there's a magic number of how many years it takes to heal, but typically I don't see them like 3 and 4 years post divorce. And so I don't know the answer to that question, but I know that the desire is to meet someone again.
Mm-hmm. I think the desire for, for the relationship doesn't disappear. It's the disappointment that that relationship wasn't what you thought or hoped it would be. Or even if it was, and you were blindsided, maybe thinking that, and got the rug pulled out, you'd want to be able to have the opportunity to do that again if it's important to you. I know I do. I'm definitely open to. I want a partner for life. I do. I'm not a dater. I just never have been. It's not my thing. Mm-hmm. And yet, at the same time, I'm so happy by myself,
That's a good place to be, though.
It's the best, I'm all good. I get certain people, who reach out, and I say, if I feel it intuitively, I might, consider it. But if this is the thing, India, when you really know yourself and you really do the work, you know within seconds if that's
Yeah.
something that you want to pursue, because I can just feel the energy, and I can say no,
Mm-hmm.
it's not even
Mm-hmm.
worth my time, because as you and I
Right.
both know, time is our most precious commodity. So
Mm-hmm.
we
Oh
want to
yeah,
be using it the way we want to be using it, wisely. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Great. Great. All right. Well, is there, I want to ask you two more questions. And the
Okay.
first question is, how do you live the I have today way? And this is a question I ask all my guests. And that's I have today way is intentionally in the present moment. So, and if you would start it with I have today too, because we take these
Okay.
and we make a video collection of them. So,
Okay. So yeah. So I have today to live a life of meaning. That's what I would
beautiful,
say. And, and
beautiful.
I could even tag on so that I get better, not bitter. I mean, because I do think that that's work. And it's not only through divorce, like life is hard. So you have to work at being better and improving and you don't have to think life, I gotta have this purpose and I can't find my purpose. Just look for meaning and try to find something that is meaningful. And that takes away the pressure of, I don't have a purpose. So live life of meaning.
I love that. Life with meaning. We have so much synchronicity. I just adore you. Okay, and then what do you wish more people knew?
I wish more people knew that when they are worried about the future of uncertainty, that launches them into anxiety. And then when they regret the past, they basically pitch a tent in the rearview mirror. And the problem is you cannot be content in either one of those states. But if you just focus on the present moment, which is a gift, we all know that quote, that's when you can say all is well, and nothing lasts forever. No matter what you're in, nothing lasts forever. And in this moment, you can say, I am well. And when you can be in that present moment, that anxiety just sloughs off, whether it's looking at the future or regretting the past.
That's very, very well said. Beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, well, we understand that you have something for the audience. Can you talk about what that is?
Yeah. So, anyone that's going through a divorce or really any life transition this could apply to, I have a ebook and it's called Three Roadblocks to Avoid in Divorce. And you can get it at hireadivorcecoach.com. And so go there, check it out, download it, and I hope that it brings you value.
I'm sure that it will. All right. Well, we have the link up on the screen right now for those of you who are listening to this on the podcast instead of the TV show. It'll be in the show notes. Make sure that you get that, because I think that's a useful tool no matter what, that resource would be so great. All right. Well, is there any final words you'd like to say to us, India?
Well, just thank you for the opportunity. And I would love to help anyone that I can. I offer a free complimentary consultation just to see if coaching would make sense. So you can always check out my website, indiakern.com is my name. And I'd love to see if I can help you.
Well, you're amazing. Keep up the incredible work. I'm so glad that we got reconnected and we were able to
Yeah,
do
me
this.
too.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing some things together in the near future. I hope we are.
I hope so
And
too.
yeah, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Diane.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of that. Let me recap some of the things that she said. Okay, so the three things to know about if you're getting divorced is what you really want to focus on is your physical health. And number two was your emotional well-being. Number three was your spiritual journey and that loneliness, fear of loneliness, swap that out with solitude and a few other things. And I will tie this all up beautifully at the end of this episode with our mantra meditation that we do at the end of every episode so that you leave here feeling better at the end than you did at the beginning. And so, all right. So what I want to offer, share with you is we have an event coming up very, very soon that's called TV Host Maker Live. TV Host Maker Live. It's going to be a 3-day virtual event so you can attend from anywhere in the world, from the comfort of your own home, and learn how to launch your own TV show. So if you would like a platform like this, or you've got work that you want to get out into the world in your own unique way, and maybe you struggle with camera confidence, or you don't know how to put all the pieces together of a show, or you just don't know anything about it, come and learn, because here's what's going on. Part of the reason why the podcast is doing so well is I'm educating the world on the television industry right now, which is on fire. There is so much opportunity for you to get into the TV world. And some of the myths I debunk are the fact that it's not expensive to do. Definitely not. It's not hard to do. There's so many content providers out there looking for really good shows that they're looking for you. It's an asset, so you can make money in a lot of different ways with a TV show. And then that TV show is really considered the most respected medium there is out there. That TV show can be repurposed and turned into 15 other different marketing and sales tools. So I would love to have you at the event because you're going to hear from amazing dynamic speakers. Hey, team, will you share the screen with me and the banner, please? You're going to hear from amazing speakers in the industry, high-level networking. We do breakout sessions that will blow your mind. Day one is all about lights, and that's your light, not the actual lights. But we go deep into the development of you. And then on day two, we build out your show. And on day three, we'd show you, all right, now how do you take it out into the world? How do you market it? How do you monetize it? All the things. So by the time you leave this transformational event, you will have your blueprint book, your TV show guidebook, completely filled out, ready to go. So if you've ever dreamed about having a show, this is your chance. So the event is September 12th, 13th, 14th. Just think, if you come to this event, you could start the new year with a brand new show. Have everything you need to get it done. How exciting. So I want you to go to tvhostmaker.com/live. tvhostmaker.com/live. That's the link. And then we also have a QR code on the screen. So I hope to see you there. It's going to be amazing. So this is your last chance, by the way. This is the last time we are doing this event. Get in now, or you're going to miss your chance. Okay. All right. So now let's wrap up our episode with our powerful meditation. So what I want you to do is, if you are multitasking right now, please stop. I want you to just be present for just these few minutes with me, okay? If you're driving, obviously you can't do this. For everybody else, put the devices down and be with me in this moment. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 2 rounds of my rainbow breath for this meditation. And what that is you're going to breathe in through your nose for the count of 4. And you're going to pull it all the way down to your root chakra, your tailbone area. And then you're going to hold it for the count of 8. And as I'm counting, what I want you to do is to send light and energy, basically light up and heal all of your 8 chakras. And that would be your root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, and your soul star, which is about a foot above your head. It's a really important one because that's your receiver. That's where you get the channeled information. So you want to get all that residue off of there and keep what it's doing when you're doing that, because you know I like to multitask, is you are literally sending healing energy to everywhere in your body and your entire auric field. Okay. It's so incredibly healing. So as you're holding it for the count of 8, once we're done with that, I want you to breathe out loudly, like you're blowing out birthday candles, for 8 seconds, and get any trapped trauma or emotion that might be stuck in your body out of your body. Okay. It's going to feel so good. We're going to do that 2 times. And then all you have to do is listen to the words. Okay. So hang on. I'm going to walk you through it. So don't worry about it. Okay. Feet flat on the floor. Put your hands on your lap. You can keep them face down if you feel grounded, or turn them up to receive more energy. Close your eyes. And now breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds and pull it down. And send that energy to all your chakras. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And blow it out for 8 hard. Oh, your abdomen should feel like a deflated balloon. Feels so good. Just pause for a moment. And now we're going to do it one more time. Breathe in for 4 through your nose and pull it down. As we send energy to those chakras for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And breathe out for 8. Listen to my words. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles big and small. I notice them all. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I have today to be better instead of bitter. I have today to embrace myself, my solitude, and look at my physical health, my emotional well-being, and my spiritual practice. That the love I seek is within me. Don't get it from outside of me. So if I've been in a relationship that it's ended or is ending, my job, role, and goal is to become whole and complete with myself. Because I attract who I am. And if I am not feeling good with me, whole with me, loving myself, accepting myself, honoring myself, respecting myself, I will attract somebody who won't be a fit. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take this moment to look at my life, all the gifts, all the glory, everything that I've ever been through, and honor myself. My life is the most important life on this journey. I can love and accept my family and my friends, my children, everybody, but my life is the one that I need to put as a priority. So I'm going to be determined to do what I can to make sure that I'm doing something every single day to honor myself, to love myself. Because as Wayne Dyer said, you can never be lonely if you love the person you're with. I'm going to embrace this and love myself, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing. And I can have any sort of relationship that I want, as long as I honor my relationship with myself first. And that each and every day, I do get better and better and better. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank my guest, India Kern, for being here. Don't forget, you can go to her site at indiakern.com and you can get her gift there. And she's got her, definitely has her book with her guidebook that have short chapters to help you heal. She's a remarkable woman and she's using her life to serve others because of the experiences that she had. And if that's something that you want to do, make sure you attend the TV Hostmaker event at tvhostmaker.com/live. I'm your host, Diane Forster. Thanks for being here. Make sure you're following me everywhere at Diane Forster Official and I Have Today with Diane Forster. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.